Alright, welcome back, folks. I'm here to talk about a game, finally. Getting away from the pickup videos a little bit, talking about a game. A pretty epic game. I use the term epic pretty loosely. It's a really fun game, but incredibly frustrating at times. And that game is, of course, you've seen by now by the title, it is Heavenly Sword for the PS3. I almost said 2, PS3. This game is pretty good. It's a PS3 exclusive from Ninja Theory, which is makes some pretty cool games. I'm a fan of theirs, and this is a pretty early PS3 title, I think, if you're not familiar with the game. It's kind of really cool. The look of it is very cool. It's a action hack and slash game. The overall look is really awesome, and I watched some YouTube videos about kind of the making of and how they did the graphics and things like that, and the filming with actual people, you know, with little dots on their faces and stuff, kind of like James Cameron's Avatar, which I'm a big fan of too. But it stars Andy Serkis as the main villain, and his name is King Bohan. He's some sort of a tyrant that believes that he's doing right, of course, and he's trying to acquire this sword that's being protected by this clan, some sort of an older pagan, clan of warriors, and they're entrusted, I guess, with this heavenly sword that is said to be, legendary. Legend says, that this sword is sent from heaven, and to protect it at all cost. But you're not supposed to wield it. You're not supposed to use it, because the person who does wield it will die. So it's kind of a strange story, but you play as the main character, this beautiful redheaded chick on the front cover. Her name is Nariko, and she's not that good of a character, let me tell you. She's kind of annoying, actually, but she does kick a whole lot of ass. And one of her sidekicks, I guess, is named Kai, and Kai is a very strange person. You'll find if you play this game, she's very odd. And then her dad is Shen. He's the leader of the group, the clan, whatever, of warriors. So basically what it boils down to is you're kind of being overrun, so Nariko just takes a bold move and just decides, F it, I'm going to use this sword and kick some ass. So she does. She wields the sword, and then the story moves on from there. And let me tell you, Andy Serkis plays one of the greatest villains of all time in this game. He, by far, for me, made this game as enjoyable as it was. And he's got a couple as in three, kind of henchmen and one henchwoman. One of them is his son, his really fat blob-looking thing named Roach. He's wearing this big, looks like a cockroach shell on his back, and so you have to fight him. And then there's like a mermaid snake thing called Whiptail that you have to fight, and also the flying fox, who is extraordinarily annoying. You have to fight all these guys, and there are times where some of these battles are pretty challenging and pretty tough. I played it on easy mode, and I tell you what, there were some frustrating moments with the hack and slash. But on top of the hack and slash, there's also this element of almost like a shooter, like a first-person shooter. Different times, either Nariko is manning like this some sort of a cannon, and you're firing the cannon at giant catapults and at people and stuff like that, and you're supposed to, take them out before they get to you. And it's got this cool feature that uses the 6-axis controller that if when you fire, you hold down square, and it slows down the bullet, kind of like Max Payne style bullet time, and you can actually use the 6-axis controller and control where the cannonball is going, side to side or up and down. It's pretty cool. And then other times in the game, when you're playing as Kai, because you do play as Kai sometimes, she has this crossbow, and you do the same thing, like you guide the arrows. That is kind of a cool feature, but I think it's overused in the game. They use it quite a bit, and it gets time. There's times where that section that you're playing with the shooter mode takes forever, and especially like if you don't succeed and you have to go back and do it again. It's like it's just very frustrating at times. But it does break up the hack and slash stuff a little bit. And another extremely frustrating thing about this game is that you can't jump. And your character is kind of slow, and there's like a stutter sometimes in their step. You use the left thumbstick to move around, and the camera angle is always really weird too. There's sometimes where you can't see where you're going because the camera doesn't change angles, and your depth perception is really off, so you don't know exactly where you're supposed to go. And the right thumbstick makes you do like an evasive roll, and there's no jump. I say that, I keep saying that, but because it annoyed me the entire time I played that there was no jump, especially in some of the later stages where there's just so many enemies, and it's tough. It's tough to survive because you can't get away from the enemies. It sucks. But yeah, there's just a few mechanics like that that really kind of drove me nuts about the game. But it didn't damper the game, I guess, for me. I still wanted to finish it, and I really did. There's 6 chapters in it. It's really pretty short. It's a less than 10-hour game. 6 chapters, and the entire 6th chapter is just you fighting the boss, Bohan. And it's pretty intense. Yeah, the last boss, it's split up in like 3 different sections, and once you figure out the trick to beating him, it's reasonably easy to beat Bohan, but it still takes a long time, and it takes a lot of trial and error to figure out that trick. It takes a long time to figure out what it is you need to do to beat him. You know, the easy way, quote. I don't know, you could probably beat him the hard way too, but it would be extraordinarily frustrating, and you're probably going to die a few times. If you're anything like me with this game, you're probably going to die a few times before you figure out that trick. Or even, you know, once you figured it out, you're probably still going to die a couple times while trying to master that trick. But I'm not going to tell you what that is, because you will learn how to do that in the game. There's different sorts of combos that you can do, you know, different, you know. And another cool thing is with this Heavenly Sword, it gives you the ability, like just your standard attacks, if you're just pressing square, triangle, it's called the speed attacks, you know, where you're just attacking fast. And then if you hold down L1 while you attack, it does like a ranged attack, and it like you got like a chain on the sword, and you're swinging the sword around, so you got like a wide radius, you know, that you're able to fight. But it's a lot lighter of attack, takes way more hits that way. And then there's the heavy attack, which you hold down R1 and do square or triangle, and it does a really heavy attack which takes a lot of damage, but it makes you really slow. Just like any other hack and slash game with that sort of mechanic. It's pretty cool, you know, and it allows you to vary your attacks a little bit, you know, and kind of get some strategy going on based on what kind of enemies you're fighting, because the different kinds of enemies, they all kind of look the same, but there's some that have more armor and some that move faster, you know, so just knowing, you know, which attacks to use on which enemies and which ones are the most effective on which enemies can clear it out, you know, faster than others. But overall, I think this is a pretty good game. I do recommend it, but like I said, be prepared for a few frustrating mechanics of the game. It's not like the world's greatest game or anything like that, but it's pretty good, and if you like Ninja Theory games, you probably will like this. And it's like dirt cheap too. I think I spent less than $5 on this game, or right at $5 or $6, something like that. I don't know. I picked it up a couple weeks ago, but yeah, it's a quick play. It's pretty fun. It's an early PS3 game, so keep that in mind going into it. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Heavenly Sword for the PS3 by Ninja Theory. That's my 2 or 3 cents on it. So, thanks for watching. Doom Waves out.